Welcome to this week's Keep Texas Red article, March 3rd, 2026, The Primary That Will Decide Texas's Future by Joseph Vargas. March 3rd, 2026 is not just another date on the calendar. It is a defining moment for Texas conservatives. If conservatives do not participate in the primary, we surrender the selection process to a smaller, often more organized group of voters who may not share our commitment to our Christian foundation, limited government, constitutional fidelity, border security, parental rights, and fiscal restraint. What is at stake? The preservation of our Christian faith and values that have historically shaped Texas culture are at stake. Depending on who is nominated in this primary, Texas will either be a stronghold for Christian faith and values or begin to erode under leaders who are unwilling to stand firm when those values are challenged. Property taxes and the spending habits that continue to drive them upward are also at stake. For years, Texans have heard promises of property tax relief. Yet many homeowners continue to see their tax bills rise. The candidates you choose in the primary will determine whether this pattern continues. Fiscal conservatism is not about slogans. It is about discipline. It is about understanding that every dollar spent by government originates from a taxpayer. These are not abstract concerns. They are just two of many issues which will determine the future Texas way of life. Incumbents versus challengers. Voters often ask, how do I know the challenger won't be worse than the bad incumbent? The truth is, there is no assurance. However, we encourage them to be critical voters with the following example. If you constantly have to remind your spouse to uphold their marriage vows, you may have chosen the wrong spouse. Likewise, if you constantly have to remind your elected official to uphold their campaign promises, you may have chosen the wrong candidate. With multiple voices and perspectives competing for nominations, it's important to approach your choice with clear standards rather than relying on slogans or broad claims. One of the most concrete bases for comparison is a candidate's record of action. If you are evaluating an incumbent, someone already serving in the position they seek, their voting history, committee work, and public service outcomes are the strongest evidence of how they govern. Review how they voted on specific bills, what initiatives they have supported or opposed, and how they have interacted with constituents and other elected officials. Actions speak louder than rhetoric. Ask yourself not just what they say they believe, but what they have demonstrated through their votes. For candidates who have not previously held the office they seek, the evaluation necessarily looks different, but is equally grounded in observable qualifications. Newcomers should be prepared to explain their understanding of the duties of the office and offer specific plans for how they would address the issues facing Texas and its communities. Look for evidence of thoughtful preparation, detailed policy understanding, and readiness to engage with complex legislative or administrative processes. It is reasonable for voters to ask whether a first-time candidate demonstrates the resilience and clarity of purpose required to withstand the pressures of a political system that will attempt to neutralize them. Across all candidates in the primary, the central questions are straightforward. Does this candidate's record or plan align with my priorities? Have they shown, or can they convincingly explain, how they will turn principles into action? By grounding your decision in measurable behavior and concrete preparation, you will contribute to selecting candidates equipped to serve effectively and accountably in the office they seek. Engage others to vote. That is why this primary election is not optional for conservatives. If you have already voted during early voting, your job is not finished. It is now your duty to engage others to vote. Do not assume your friends or family have already voted. Call them directly. Ask them, have you voted yet? If they have not, encourage them and help them make a plan. Offer them a ride. If they have, thank them and ask who else they are bringing on Tuesday. Turnout determines outcomes. In primary elections especially, small margins decide races that shape Texas policy for years. March 3rd, 2026 is an opportunity to demonstrate that conservative voters in Texas are engaged and unwilling to allow complacency to determine the direction of our state. Vote, bring others with you, make the calls, finish strong, keep Texas red. For more information, visit keeptexasred.org and don't forget to sign up for our newsletter.